Hey, fellow nomads of lore.
Maestros of mirth and mythology.
I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Shawn.
And we are Mead and Mischief, your home away from no home. Today, we're going to be discussing Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Today, we're going to talk about our 3 least favorite things about the film. We each have a list of 3, and it was kind of, unfortunately, kind of hard to narrow down the 3 least favorite things because there are a lot of problems with the film. But overall, it's a great film, and if you haven't seen it yet, then you probably should not watch this spoiler-filled review of the movie.
Gonna start with your number 3?
Yeah, I'll start. So, my number 3 thing actually was kind of a tie, and I had a hard time getting rid of one, so I'll say the first one was Rey's connection to Palpatine. That was my number 3 thing, but we won't go into that. So, my actual number 3 that did make the list.
Well, actually, let's spend half a second on that, because that was actually one that I didn't put on. That was
Oh, really?
That was like a number 4 for me.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So our number 4, we're going to make this top 4 things that we did not like about the film. No, but yeah, my least favorite thing, or one of my least favorite things, was the connection of Palpatine that they made to Rey.
I don't know about you, but I've grown to dislike it less. Double negative there.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me as much as when I first watched it. I thought it was really annoying and distracting. It bothers me less. I think it was unnecessary, but not this. It's not awful. So.
No, and he does make a wonderful villain.
Mm-hmm. So Palpatine himself is not.
He's not a problem. It's just that connection. So yeah. All right. So actual number 3 was basically the lack of screen time for some of the side characters. Mm-hmm. Number 1 was Rose. Or one of the characters that I think that didn't get enough screen time was Rose. And she, unfortunately, we built up unfortunately, we built up this great character in episode 8, and had a really cool, sad start to her story with her sister dying and everything. And then we built this character, and she's a very different female character, I think, and had some really cool parts. Saved Finn, which kind of was cheesy
debatably good.
Yeah, whatever. Kind of took away from his character a little bit, but it had this really cool character, and then we bring her into this film, and we've talked about this before. Sorry, that she got one line, 1.5 lines,
half a line. Claude gets more lines than she does.
So yeah, and there was just a lot of things that they could have taken from Dominic. What was his name? Beaumont Ken. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Beaumont Ken. So, great actor from Lost and from Lord of the Rings. Yeah, obviously. But his character seemed almost it wasn't pointless. It was a fine character, and knowing now what I know about him, that he was a historic buff and all this stuff.
Right.
The things that he said, could have been said by somebody else probably, or could have been worded by somebody else, and maybe some of those. Then there was a part where Finn comes up with the way to destroy all the ships, and the reason that Rose left was stayed behind was so that she could find out that weak spot, and they could have given that to her at least, but they didn't. And also, of course, our beloved Lando Calrissian, he didn't get enough screen time, and there was times that they could have used him maybe instead of what was her name?
The love interest to Poe.
Poe Dameron's love interest. Anyway.
Carrie Russell.
Yeah, Carrie Russell, yep. Anyway, the whole scene with her, she was a great character. Again, something that I think...
Hope to see more of her later.
Developed Poe a little bit, and that was good. But it also could have been done by Lando, which would have given him more screen time, which I would have loved. So that was my number 2, just lack of...
Your number 3?
I mean, my number 3. Sorry. I got thrown off by the number 4.
Yeah.
My number 3 thing my number 3 top dislike about this film.
So my number 3, which I almost had to put on my list because on our likes list I said he was wrong, and I thought my number 3 is the dyad and the Force thing.
Okay.
I thought it was ridiculous from number 8, and I thought it was still ridiculous, and I thought it was cheesy and shoehorned. It has the one thing that I will agree with you. You talk about it kind of basically giving potential for other things later and other story, and so the whole mystery surrounding it is interesting. I love lore. I am a nomad of lore after all, and so the intriguing stuff potentially is there. I thought as a device in the films, it was shoehorned, and I thought it was cheesy. I thought it was really stupid in 8 in The Last Jedi. It was because we'd never really seen anything like that before. Not at least, definitely not in films or shows or anything else. And so I thought it was cheesy then, and I thought the whole diet thing was just a way to explain something that was stuck in there, which I'm glad they explained it and didn't just leave it hanging. I won't say that much. Yeah. I just thought it was cheesy, so I wasn't a huge fan.
All right,
so
your number 3 is wrong. All right, so number 2 for me was the disparity of Rey's abilities from episode 7 all the way through 9. 9 being, the problem with 9, of course, arose because of 7 and 8, but in 7 and 8, she's like a force to be reckoned with pretty much from the beginning, and able to kind of keep up with Kylo, who's been trained, formerly, and then all of a sudden at the beginning of episode 9, she has trouble with a little battle droid thing, a little practice battle droid thing, or whatever it is.
I was reading in here that it describes it as there's remotes, and the red one is particularly annoying to her. That made me. I really liked this companion book, but that was like, okay, that's just dumb.
It's been particularly annoying. Anyway. Yeah, so I had a problem with that disparity of her ability, and I think there's a little bit of the disparity with Kylo's too, with his ability range from 7, 8, and 9, but hers is very noticeable in this film.
With Kylo's, I wonder if I thought it might be more of his internal struggle getting in the way. Yeah. Hers is because she doesn't know. I mean, she had just come off of finding out that she's a nobody, right? And stuff. But the way it's presented is she should be beyond that by then. Yeah. It was odd.
Yeah.
Although the scene with her with the rocks was cool.
It was. And the fact that she got trained by Leia.
Oh, really cool. We need a book about that. Written by Claudia Gray. It would be phenomenal. Yeah. That's not I saw somebody else put that, and I wholeheartedly agree. That would be amazing. Hopefully that's in the works. So my number 2 actually is the same as your number 3, basically. I narrowed it specifically to Rose's downgrade. I was originally writing Rose and Lando. I decided to list Rose specifically because her downgrading was that big, much bigger. Rose is a character that's grown on me a lot, you've talked. She was annoying and had kind of a sloppy backstory. But there's some really neat things about Rose. She's a character who is full of faith and belief, and up to stunning one of the Resistance heroes, and
she believes in the cause more than some of the main characters.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And she's a cool character, and I bet if we ever when the DVD's release, if we get some director's cut or deleted scenes, I'm sure there's more stuff shot with her. I would just bet nearly anything.
Yeah.
And so hopefully we'll see some of that then. You mentioned some of the ways where she could have possibly been in the film. I don't think it would have been terrible. I mean, who knows? It would throw off the dynamics a little bit, create some weird love triangle that isn't. I don't know. Who knows what the decision? I'm sure there was a reason for it.
If she had gone with,
I don't know why. I don't know that it would have been terrible for her to go with the main group. I mean,
my number one thing that I liked the very least about this movie was actually the Jedi Ghost use of the Force. This started in episode 8. A little bit with Yoda, but definitely was added on to significantly in episode 9 with Luke catching the lightsaber, a physical object, and then him later actually using the Force to lift the X-Wing out of the water, which was completely pointless in my opinion. And the biggest problem I have with this whole thing is, and I think I've said it before, is if they can use the Force, why don't all the Force ghosts just come back, get together with whoever's alive, and go kill all the bad guys, and then everything's good. They've righted all the wrongs and end of story. Of course, it wouldn't make much of a film, but it just seemed very pointless to me, because never before have they been able to interact or do anything with physical realm. And then secondly, other than talking, obviously, but
right.
And then secondly,
and log sitting.
Yeah, and log sitting. And then secondly, of course, using the Force. So what was your number one?
Well, your number one is wrong, because it's the same as my number one. Okay. We debated a little bit before this whether we were going to have the same number one. And
that's good.
It's silly. It's kind of, as you were talking about why don't the Force ghosts that we know of, why doesn't Yoda and Luke and whoever come back and help, if they can do all of that. My mind went to, well, there's your Rise of Skywalker holdo maneuver. I mean, this is the thing that is kind of a little bit universe breaking. It's kind of, it's pretty, as even if you take that out, it's still silly. The whole catching of the lightsaber and the whole comedic thing. There's no way to treat a lightsaber. Yeah, that was funny and cutesy and whatever. I mean, fine, okay. And you talk about the scene of the raising of the X-wing. I agree, and I was in my mind. In both times I sat in the theater and watched it, I was thinking, this is really stupid. I can't help but like it just a little bit, because it's Luke lifting a lightsaber. I mean, a lightsaber, an X-wing out of the water. And it's silly. It's an addition to the universe that didn't need to be there. I bet we never really see it again. I suspect, and we'll see. Who knows? I hope we never see it again. It was dumb and pointless, and it was an older word, but it was chinchy. It was just, it didn't need to be there. I mean, absolutely. So that's our list. That's our least favorite things. We got another video talking about our favorite things. You can check out the link to that down below. Make sure that if you like this video, like our dislikes, give us a thumbs up. If you dislike the video, give us a thumbs down. That's no problem. Make sure either way, whether you disliked, or, leave us a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. One of the amazing things, whether it's hostile or argumentative or whatever else, one of the amazing things about something like Star Wars is the community. So we want to hear from you.
That's true.
Make sure you leave us a comment down below, letting us know what you thought and what's your thing, what things that you didn't like about Rise of Skywalker.
That's right. Also, make sure to hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, all the things that you got to do so that you can know when our content is coming to you. We've got, like he said, a video of the top 3 things that we did like. We've also got a spoiler-filled, very at length review. It's going to be quite a long one. Just us talking back and forth about the movie, everything, all no holds barred talk. And then we've also got a spoiler-free review, which, of course, if you watch this one, you probably wouldn't be interested in that one. But
show your friends.
Yeah, exactly. Something to show your friends. And with that, bid you farewell.
Adios.